Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A truly classic crazy show. The Weird Circle, as it was originally broadcast April 29th, 1945, and the classic tale of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
The Weird Circle. In this cave by the restless sea, we are met to call from out the past stories strange and weird. Bellkeeper, roll the bell, so all may know we are gathered again in the Weird Circle. Phantoms of a world gone by speak again the immortal tale. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Every man is truly two beings, cursed with the struggle of good and evil within him. What would this duality be like, separated? Each part living alone, the good companion, and then the pure and ugly evil of a man. That you, Poole?
Yes, Dr. Jekyll.
Come in, come in. Did you get the salt?
Yes, sir. Finally, sir. But only 3 pounds of it. That was all the chemist had.
Good. It will suffice. Thank you, Poole.
Anything else, sir?
No, Poole. Good night.
I beg pardon, sir, if I may ask, is the experiment nearly done?
I think so, Poole. This time, I think it's really nearly done.
Ah, splendid, sir. Cook would be glad to hear it, too. Good night, sir.
Good night, good night. The acid, a gram of the salt. Where's your courage, Jekyll? Drink it. Drink it. Here. The mirror. Look. Your face. Your face. The essence of evil within you, growing before your eyes. There's breath in your other half, Jekyll. You've given him the miracle of life. The essence of the hidden evil in a man, Dr. Jekyll. The miracle of consummate evil come to life. The hidden soul of Jekyll. I am Mr. Hyde.
That night, like a shadow from an evil place, a stooped figure walked alone in the London streets. About him was a feeling of deformity and decay. He had come from the by-street door of Dr. Henry Jekyll's house, from his laboratory. And it was this same door he entered again when the first light of dawn dispelled the night. But during the day, The house and the laboratory were quiet, while the master slept. That evening, Mr. Utterson, the lawyer, stood before the bright fire in the library. Dr. Jekyll had sent for him.
This will is preposterous, Jekyll. I'm your lawyer,
Well,
yes,
there's
but...
nothing to be so concerned about, Utterson. Edward Hyde is a new friend of mine. I want to be sure he's provided for in case something happens to me, that's all.
But nothing's going to happen to you. How could you just disappear, as you've stated in this testament?
Well, now, how could I know that, Utterson?
Well, it's strange, Jekyll, but if this is the way you want it...
Hyde has captured my interest, Utterson. His well-being is the one thing uppermost in my mind. I want to be certain, in case something does happen to me, that Hyde will be financially secure to carry on.
I see. Well, all right, Jekyll, as you wish. The will be ready for your signature in a few days. I'll bring it around myself.
Splendid, Utterson. Now, what about that spot of wine?
Thanks, no. Dr. Lanyon's expecting me.
Lanyon?
He was only asking about you the other evening, Jekyll. We see you so seldom these days.
Well, I've been rather hard at it in the laboratory. Sure you can't stay?
Another time. Good night, Jekyll.
Good night.
Wonder who the devil this Edward Hyde is.
Mr. Utterson was the first of many Londoners who were to wonder about the hideous spectre like Mr. Hyde, who were to fear the shadows of night because of him. One evening, nearly a week later...
Help me, sir! Help me!
Here, young fellow. What's the matter?
It's a monster, sir. He struck me with his cane. Help me, sir, please.
There. Nobody's going to hurt you. Now, where is this monster you speak of?
He was right behind me, sir. All the way from Clement Street. Look, there, under the corner light. You'll not let him come at me again, will you, sir? Will you?
No, my lad. No harm will come to you.
Oh, sir.
He's seen us now. Wait. By George, it is a monster.
Look, sir. He's making for that doorway. The small one in the shadow. Just there.
So he is. Hey, here, fellow. Wait a minute there. Come along, my lad.
But, sir, don't let him.
It's all right now. Don't be afraid. You there. Did you strike this child?
If the ruffian molests me again, I'll strike him again.
What kind of a devil are you?
There's no gentleman but wishes to avoid a scene. It was an accident. Maybe this pound note will ease the boy's pain.
Oh, no.
Take it, lad.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait a moment. And this door. Isn't this Jekyll's laboratory? You must be Mr. Hyde. I'm an old friend of the doctor's, Utterson of Gaunt Street. You must have heard of me. I was just on my way to see Jekyll.
How did you know I'm Mr. Hyde?
Oh, we have common friends.
Who are they?
Jekyll, for one. Come, let me see your face, Mr. Hyde. How else shall I know you when we meet again?
We shall not meet again, Mr. Utterson.
Well, so that is Hyde. Now, my lad, run along. I've got a call to make.
In this house, sir?
Yes, but at the front door. I want to see if Mr. Jekyll's in. Now, my lad, you run along home, and don't let me catch you out on the dark streets like this again.
Yes, sir, you won't, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Mr. Utterson.
Dr. Jekyll home, Paul?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Thought sure he'd be here at this late hour.
And most gently he is, sir.
I just saw that Hyde fellow go in by the laboratory door. Is that right, when Dr. Jekyll's away from home?
Quite right, Mr. Utterson. Mr. Hyde has a key.
Your master seems to put a great deal of trust in him.
Yes, sir, he does indeed. We all have orders to obey him, though we see him seldom. He mostly comes and goes by the street door, and at night, sir.
Well, tell Dr. Jekyll I'd like to see him as soon as possible, and give him these papers, will you, Poole?
Yes.
I was talking with him about them a few days ago.
Yes, sir.
Night, Poole.
Good night, Mr. Utterson.
Now, the sword, Mr. Hyde. Hurry. Mix it well. Pour the powder in slowly. Now, drink it. Look, that strength of good, Mr. Hyde. The triumphant strength of good. The terror of your eyes unclouding. The straightening of your crooked, evil soul. The masking of an ugly idol in the glass. It's the last of you, Mr. Hyde. You'll never exist again.
What? Is that you, Dr. Jekyll?
Yes, Poole.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I only just told Mr. Utterson that you were not at home.
I came in by the laboratory door, Poole.
But Mr. Hyde, sir...
Mr. Hyde is gone.
Oh, I see. Mr. Utterson left this paper envelope, sir. He asked also to see you as soon as possible.
Well, thank you, Poole. Put it there.
Shall I bring you some chocolate, sir?
No. No, I'll go to bed. I'm very tired, Poole. I've been alone too much lately. What do you say to my taking your advice and having their dinner party?
Oh, that would be like old times, sir.
We'll talk it over tomorrow.
Splendid, sir.
And, Poole, I don't think Mr. Hyde will be back again.
Good evening. Come right in, sir.
Dr. Lanyon and Miss Julie, come in.
Hello, Jekyll. Good to see you out of that shell after all these months. This isn't going to be one of those stuffy dinner parties, is it?
Pay no attention to him, Dr. Jekyll.
Your hat and coat, Dr. Lanyon.
Oh, yes, Poole. By the way, Jekyll.
Yes.
This is your walking stick, isn't it?
Why, so it is.
You went off with mine the last time you were over. Left yours.
Did I? I am sorry. Look for Dr. Lanyon's cane, will you, Poole?
Yes, sir.
Of course, I'd rather have this one. I'm fond of canes and sherry. The little dog's head is nicely carved.
Well, perhaps we'll arrange a swap someday.
Well, Dr. Jekyll, good evening.
Good, Sir Andrew. Hello there.
Where have you been hiding all these weeks?
Hiding? Oh, right here, Sir Andrew, right here.
Well, we've missed you. Mrs. Fielding's dinners aren't the same without Dr. Jekyll.
Well,
thank
I
you,
must
sir.
say it's good to see you, Jekyll.
Utterson,
You're
hello.
not evading me this time. Been trying to see you all week.
Why, something on your mind?
Not here, old fellow. Come along. We can steal out a few minutes before dinner.
But only a few. I've got a house full of guests, remember. Look, there's nobody here in the laboratory. Sit down. By the fire.
My word. It does look like you've been working.
Well, it takes a lot of equipment for chemical experiments. Now, what's up?
You should know without asking. That will, of course.
Oh, that.
I don't like it, Jekyll.
You never did.
And especially since I've met your Mr. Hyde. He's a fighter fellow, Jekyll. The other night...
Let's not talk about it, Utterson. It's not as you fancy. I can be rid of Hyde the moment I choose.
What's the matter?
Oh, I was just going to say, let's leave the will as it is. And will you promise me one thing?
What's that?
I still take a great interest in Hyde, and I only ask for justice, for you to help him if the time comes when I'm no longer here.
Oh, the whole thing's preposterous, but... Well, it's a promise. I'll do my best. Well, look here, Jekyll. Are you ill?
No, What?
Your face, man. Your face.
Don't look at me, Utterson.
Jekyll, wait a minute.
He saw you, Mr. Hyde. My eyes. Oh, let me alone. Let me alone. You've got to die and stay dead forever. You're afraid, Mr. Hyde. Afraid of him. Can you kill the strongest force in the world? You've got to have the strength of Hyde to murder the inordinate strength of Hyde. You can't kill me, Jekyll. The good in you can never kill. And I shall never die. Not as long as you can live.
The Word Circle, another of those shows that we don't have any cast lists for. April 29th, 1945, The Word Circle on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of The Weird Circle, the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, April 29th, 1945.
Anna, what's the matter with you? Oh, Miss Julie, close the window, quick. What happened? That hideous creature we heard about, ma'am, that Mr. Hyde, I just saw him kill a man. Kill a man? Where? In the street, just outside. I screamed, and he looked up at me like a wild man he was. Oh, no, don't go out there, Miss Julie.
Anna, get yourself in
hand.
Julie, what's going on here?
Something on the street, Father. You better go out and see what's happened. Oh, the creature was about to come up to the balcony, Dr. Lanyon. It was stooped and hideous and...
Put her on the bed, Julie. I'll be right back.
I've just been sitting here peaceful-like, watching the moonlight, ever since you and Dr. Lanyon came back from Dr. Jekyll's party. Then the white-haired gentleman came along, and this monster... Oh, man.
It's all right, Hannah.
And the white-haired gentleman just asked about the post, and this monster struck him with his cane, and then kicked him and kicked him. It was that Hyde monster, Miss Julie.
Oh, but where'd he go?
Well, when I screamed, some people came out from the houses, and he looked round like an animal and then ran away. Oh, he might come back, Miss Julia. Don't let him come back. Don't let him come back.
Here, get back there. What's happened?
The poor blighter, such an old man. He's been murdered, Dr. Lanyon.
Good Lord. It's Sir Andrew Carew.
Looks like he was on his way to the post and some madman attacked him.
Here, you. Call an officer.
Already been called. Look at this.
What is it?
A walking cane. What the murder was done with, most likely. It's broke plumb in two.
Here, let me see that.
Heavy sort of cane. Easy to do a murder with that.
How terrible. Some maniac's done this.
That Mr. Hyde we've heard so much about, and some folks have seen. That's who's done it.
Oh, it's Mr. Hyde. That's right.
Cherry cane with a dog's head carved in the handle. Why, this is Dr. Jekyll's.
Clark, let me have a room. Any room, quick.
Yes, sir, right away.
And I want a note delivered immediately.
Will you register, sir?
There's the time, I tell you. Give me a room and send me a messenger, quick.
But,
Like
sir,
a fool. Do you want these fingers around your throat, or will you do as I say?
Oh, yes, sir. Sam, show this gentleman up to 210 and wait for a note he wants delivered. Oh, my word, fingers around my throat. And by golly, I really meant it.
I cannot impress upon you too strongly the importance of this note, Dr. Lanyon. You have been a dear friend, and now my life is in your hands. Go immediately to my house. Poole will admit you. From my laboratory cabinet, remove the fourth drawer from the top, with all its contents intact, and take it to your house, where a man will present himself in my name at exactly midnight tonight. You must not fail me. Henry Jekyll. What an extraordinary thing. Well, I've done as Jekyll said. Now we'll see. Oh, right on the dot. Who's there?
Let me in.
Are you from Jekyll?
Yes, let me in. Lanyon, you got it.
I have, but look here.
Don't waste time. Let me have the drawer.
It's in my study, through that door there.
Where is it?
There, on the table.
Have you got a graduated glass?
It's on the shelf beside you, but what are you going to do?
I am going to perform a miracle.
Now look here. Jekyll didn't say anything about... If this is some fiendish thing Jekyll's cooked up, I'll be no partner to it.
Crystals.
Who are you, anyway?
Look at it, Dr. Lanyon.
Man, answer me. Who are you?
You've already guessed that, haven't you? I am Mr. Hyde.
Hyde?
Is your curiosity great enough to watch me drink this potion?
What are you talking about? Get out of here, you devil!
If you watch me, a new knowledge will be open to you, Dr. Lanyon. And in this room, this instant, your sight will be blasted by a prodigy that would stagger the unbelief of Satan himself.
You're a madman. Get out of my house.
Now, watch, Dr. Lanyon, watch.
Jekyll. Jekyll. In heaven's name. It's you.
The birth of a good man before your eyes. Now you see why I hid myself away all those weeks, Dr. Lanyon.
Jekyll.
What are you saying?
At first, it took a strong draught of the formula to bring him to life. Weeks ago, that was. But now he's too strong. Now the Jekyll you see before you hasn't the power to keep him back. 2 hours from now, Dr. Lanyon, I'll be Mr. Hyde again. And no strength of my will can stop it.
Jekyll, you're mad. Leave me alone.
I've got more of the powder, Dr. Lanyon. In heaven's name, don't you see? I've got to find more of the powder. This was the last of it.
Jekyll, have mercy.
April 29th, 1945, The Weird Circle, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The conclusion follows these messages from your favorite radio station here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. For a very long time, you've heard me talk about My Pillow, and of course the My Pillow products are fascinating. My Slippers, which are on special right now, all of the sheets and the pillows and the pillowcases, and all the wonderful things. But did you know that American entrepreneurs have gotten together with Mike Liddell to form My Store, a whole line of products made by American entrepreneurs, including health products, garden and patio, food and drink. If you're a coffee drinker, check out some of the coffees they have there. Beauty, bath products, personal care, things for your pets. Check out mystore.com. That is mystore.com. And of course, when you use my promo code, which is Wyatt, that's WYATT, you can save yourself a good bit of money on anything there. Check out mystore.com, promo code Wyatt. I'm Wyatt Cox. This is Classic Radio Theater. Now the conclusion of The Weird Circle, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, April 29th, 1945.
Let an old man alone.
Together we can do it, Dr. Lanyon. Poole got the powder for me, but the shop where he got it has no more. It must have contained some impurity that did the trick. You've got to help me find out what that impurity was. Dr. Lanyon, you've got to help me murder this evil Hyde in my soul.
Jekyll, stop.
What? Stop. Dr. Lanyon! Dr. Lanyon! No! His heart could not stand the wonder of your miracle, Dr. Jekyll. You have killed him. The one man who could save your life is dead.
Oh, God bless you, Mr. Addison, for coming so quickly.
Oh, what on earth's happened, Poole?
I'm sorely afraid Dr. Jekyll's been murdered, sir.
What? Murdered?
Come with me, sir. Don't make a noise. We mustn't be heard.
But where are you taking me?
Here's a candle, sir, to Dr. Jekyll's laboratory. And if by any chance he asks you in, don't go, Mr. Addison. Don't go.
But how could Jekyll be dead?
Quiet, sir, I beg of you. You see, he's been in the laboratory all day, and he won't come out. And every time I knock, wait and you shall see. Here's the door.
What is it?
Mr. Addison, sir, asking to see you.
Tell him I can't see anybody.
Yes, sir.
Poole, that isn't... Well, that doesn't sound like Jekyll to me.
No, sir, I'm glad to hear you say so, because Mr. Addison, whatever is in there, cries to heaven for help and wails and sobs.
What are you driving at, Poole?
Well, sir, it all began early this morning after they'd found Dr. Lanyon dead.
Yes, I saw him. Such terror in his face.
Well, sir, it was sometimes Dr. Jekyll's way to leave orders on a sheet of paper outside this door. And since early this morning, sir, we've had nothing else except notes at a closed door and food left outside to be smuggled in when nobody was looking. And a dozen times, Mr. Addison, those notes were sent me flying all over London to wholesale chemists for a certain powder. But every time, soon after I brought it back, there'd be another paper telling me to return it because it wasn't right, sir. And this drug, sir, is wanted very badly.
Then maybe it is Jekyll, Poole. Maybe...
Oh, sir, do you think I wouldn't know my master after 20 years? That thing in there, Mr. Addison, had done away with Dr. Jekyll.
Then who do you think it is in there?
I give you my Bible word, Mr. Addison. It's
It's that monster, Mr. Hyde.
That's what I thought. Come on, we've got to break in.
Yes, sir.
You need an axe, something to pry the door with.
Well, I have the tools here. I've also taken the liberty of sending a footman with the boy around by the by-street entrance, just in case. And I have a gun here, sir.
Good. But can they catch him if he tries to escape?
They can, sir. Here's the axe.
Here, hold the candle.
Right.
I'm going to knock first.
Right.
Mr. Hyde, will you let me in?
I can't see anybody. Go away.
If you don't open the door, I'm going to break it down.
Utterson, in heaven's name, have mercy. Leave me alone.
Oh, stand back.
If you value your life, stay away.
We're coming in there, Mr. Hyde.
No! If you break down the door, I'll kill you. Do you hear me? I'll kill you. No! Mr. Utterson, wait! I'll unlock the door.
Give me that gun, Poole.
The door's unlocked. Open it and come in if you dare.
Stand behind me, Poole. I'm going to push it open.
Oh, it's the monster. Mr. Utterson has got a knife.
Stay back from us, Mr. Hyde.
Here you see evil incarnate, Mr. Utterson. And murder is my forte.
So you have murdered Dr. Jekyll?
Because he wished me dead. Now both of you shall die.
He's coming at us, sir.
Stay back, Mr. Hyde.
Utterson, look out.
Now.
Is he dead, sir?
He's dead, Poole.
Then we must find Dr. Jekyll. His body must be here somewhere in the laboratory.
Wait.
Look. His face. It's changing, sir. It's...
You're looking at the shell of an evil soul, Poole, dissolving, turning back to the form of its creator.
But it's Dr. Jekyll. What does it mean, Mr. Utterson?
It means the evil man is dead, Poole. For here lies the better half of his duality, triumphant.
April 29th, 1945, The Weird Circle on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Okay, now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, another episode of the soap opera Claudia, and this episode was originally broadcast on April 29th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you, transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Boom doo doo doo, boom doo doo doo. Hello, hello, hello. It certainly is quiet in the country. Is this house haunted? Anybody live here?
Like a lonesome ghost.
My, this house looks big with just one ghost in it.
It feels big.
Mm-hmm. Can you see me now?
Of course not. It's afternoon. You know I can't begin to see ghosts till after dark.
Then come here and stand still.
That's better. There wasn't anything ghostly about that.
How's Connecticut been all day?
Noisy.
That sounds like New York.
Carpenters were here.
For a change. They must be nearly finished on the wing by now.
They sounded as though they ought to be, but it doesn't look any different.
Did they start on the barn?
No.
No?
But I think they're going to.
I hope they're going to. It's all in the estimate.
Oh, I'm glad some things turned out like the estimate.
Well, wait a minute. We're very lucky with the way the rebuilding has gone.
Oh, yes.
Usually, things don't turn out the way you expect them to at all.
Don't I know it?
Especially when it comes to old houses. Seriously. Don't you think we've done remarkably well so far?
Have we, David?
Now look at this dining room.
I have been looking at it all day long.
Now, the bay window, for instance. This is the nicest time of day for the view, isn't it?
Yes, it is a wonderful view.
But not when you're tired of looking at it. Is that it?
Me? Tired of it? Oh, David, no, I don't mean that.
I know, darling. Come here. Sit on my lap.
That's a nice invitation.
Did you talk to Mama on the phone?
I did, this morning.
I talked to her, too, in New York.
She is coming back here tomorrow, isn't she?
You bet she's coming back. She didn't need much coaxing. She's taking the 2:00 train.
So late?
It's a long day up here by yourself in the country, isn't it?
Oh, I wasn't all by myself. The carpenters were here, remember? You know, it's funny, David, but when you listen to hammers and saws long enough, they sound as though they're trying to say something.
You must have been pretty lonely up here all day.
Peter was here.
The new handyman with the half-wit? He must have been very fascinating to talk to.
Very. He doesn't say hardly anything at all.
Well, does he do anything?
He looks for things.
Oh. You know, I don't think he's exactly what we need on this farm.
Oh, we need so many things on this farm.
But you are not to drive around getting the things we need, remember? Remember what Dr. Rowland said?
Oh, just because Dr. Rowland said to be careful. I don't have to be a mushroom.
Dr. Rowland is one of the best specialists in New York.
Well, if he were really good, he'd know I'm going to have a boy.
He's good enough for me. And you are to do exactly what he says.
All right, I'll just sit here in the rocking chair and twiddle my thumbs all day long.
You get tired of that, I'll loan you mine. You can twiddle them.
Thank you. Give them to me right now.
Tomorrow you can talk to Mama. She'll be back tomorrow.
And she'll go away again.
Darling, I know it's pretty quiet here now, but wait until the farm's really going.
Oh, I can't wait.
You'll be sorry you were in such a hurry. When we have cows and vegetables and chickens and a baby? No, you'll be so busy you won't know where the day goes.
I won't be sorry. Don't worry.
Now, come on, off my lap. I'm going up and wash off some of that New York dust. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, darling.
I'll be right down.
David, there's a car in the driveway. We have visitors. David? Can you see who it is from the window upstairs? All right. Up. Coming. Hello, Mrs. Norton. Bertha, why, it's you. How wonderful.
Well, hello, Mrs. Norton.
Bertha and Fritz. Well, what are you doing up here? What a wonderful surprise.
Mrs. Norton, it is so good to see you.
Oh, wait till David comes down and sees you. He'll just... Oh, please come in. Sit down.
How is Mr. Norton? He is all right?
He's wonderful. You and Bertha, you look fine.
Fritz is a little spindly, but he's all right.
Oh, please, Bertha, I'm fine.
Fritz, Mrs. Norton, is she not looking beautiful since she lives in the country?
Oh, of course. It's the wonderful fresh air.
And the baby.
Oh, with a farm like this, everybody smiles.
Oh, it's been months since we saw you.
2.5 weeks only.
Oh? It feels like months sometimes.
Well, it looks like you and Mr. Norton must have worked very hard.
Do you really think so?
But of course.
Wait, I'll show you. This is the dining room.
Oh, and the kitchen.
Yes.
A fine kitchen.
Oh, the house, it is very charming.
And so old. It is not like in America.
And the land, Bertha. You saw the land?
You do think it's good land, Fritz? I mean, really good?
I took some of the soil in my hand when I got out from the car. It is rich soil. Here fine crops will grow.
But we haven't done anything with it yet.
You are impatient, Mrs. Norton.
A farm is slow, Mrs. Norton. You cannot do all in 1 week or 1 month or in one life even.
Fritz knows. He had a little farm once. We would like someday again a little farm.
Yeah, when our rich uncle dies, we'll have a farm.
He's not even born yet, our rich uncle.
Well, here we are just standing around. Don't you want to sit down?
Well, we only just say hello and then we have to go.
Carl, Fritz's brother-in-law, drives the car. He must go. He has business near. Oh, no.
That is how we happen to drop in.
Oh, but you'll have to wait until Mr. Norton comes down. Oh, Bertha, it's so good to see you. It's so very good. We have missed you.
And your mother? She's here?
No, Bertha. Mama went back to New York.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But she's coming back tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. You will be glad she's here.
Very glad.
You have perhaps someone every day to help with the house?
Well, no, not yet. We haven't been able to find the right person.
Then all day you are alone?
Maybe you better tell me what it's like in New York.
Well, it is as when you were there, only not so nice anymore.
Oh, everybody's dressed for spring now. It must be exciting to see them.
I do not know everybody. It is not so exciting when one is there, not like here.
Hey, in New York, we know the spring only because we read it in the newspapers.
I bet it's lots quieter in the apartment house now that we've gone.
Quieter? I guess it is quieter a little. I do not like it quieter.
Oh, nobody brings Great Danes in the elevator, and other people's cats don't fall down coal holes.
Also, no one to smile at us every day. When you get older, smiles, they are very important.
Fritz, smiles are always important for everybody. Go see if Carl cannot wait with the car.
Oh, Fritz, of course he will. You make him. Mr. Norton would never forgive me if you went without seeing him.
Oh, I'll try. Maybe Carl can take care of his business and come back again in an hour.
Of course he can. Come on, Bertha, let's go outside with Fritz. There's so much I want to show you.
And so much I want to see.
I'll be right back. I'll speak to Carl.
Bertha, now tell me honestly, do you really like the house?
This house, Mrs. Norton?
Yes.
This is a good house. It gives you its blessing.
That's a lovely thing to say, Bertha.
And you have done so much since you've been here.
Oh, there's so much we want to do.
And the baby.
Just 2 months more.
So now you must be careful, very careful.
Oh, I am.
Well, it's all arranged. Carl will be coming back in an hour.
Oh, wonderful. Now I want you to see all the farm.
Oh, that I should like very much.
First, I'll go back to the house and get Mr. Norton.
Mrs. Norton, be careful how you walk. It's getting dark.
David, come on down. I've got a surprise for you.
Mrs. Norton, watch out. Fritz, she fell.
Bertha, come quick.
Mrs. Norton shouldn't have run. She should be careful.
I'll hold her. You loosen her collar.
Mrs. Norton. Oh, she opens her eyes. Gott sei Dank.
What happened?
Oh, it's nothing serious.
You fell, Miss Norton.
Oh.
But you're all right now.
All right, it's all right. Bertha, she fainted too sometimes.
I fainted?
Shh. It is natural. Fritz, we must take her inside.
Well, hello there. And if it isn't Fritz and Bertha, coming all the way up here to surprise us, and me in the shower.
Mr. Norton...
Here, what's happened? Claudia, what's wrong?
It's nothing. Mrs. Norton, she fell down.
A little faint, only.
Claudia, darling, are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. Wasn't I silly to fall down? I was in such a hurry to see you.
You were running?
She should go in the house.
I'm going. I can walk.
You're not going to, whether you can or not.
Mr. Norton, he carries you.
Oh,
Here.
Such a fuss.
Now, there.
Really, darling, I'm fine.
Now, shut up and stop kicking your legs.
David, I'm all right. I really am.
You see? I can't do a thing with her, Bertha.
Mrs. Norton, not only for you, but for the baby, too. It is dangerous.
I hate being a sissy.
Well, you be one anyway.
You know what? Being a sissy's not so bad. In your arms.
Well, it's not a bad habit. Come on now. Into the house.
Darling, you know, everything's sort of different since Bertha came.
Different? It is? What is?
Well, all of a sudden I'm seeing the farm again. The way I want to see it.
Yeah, I know.
And the way I want to keep on seeing it. I wanted so much to tell you, and instead I fainted.
Well, in a way, I'm glad you did.
Mr. Norton, Fritz, he must go back to New York in an hour, but we have been talking. If you like, and do not mind, I stay to help until Mrs. Norton's mama comes.
Bertha, you'd leave Fritz tonight and stay with us?
Yes, if you need me, and and do not mind.
Mind? I should say not, Bertha. As a matter of fact, I wish I dared ask you to stay.
Oh, Bertha, David and I would love you to stay because, in a way, tonight you've brought the farm back to us. Dum da la 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 la.
We seldom stop to think how much difference the little comforts and conveniences add to our pleasure from day to day. For instance, next time you're marketing and you pause for an ice-cold drink at the Coca-Cola counter, think how nice it is to be able to enjoy the pause that refreshes right in the store where you're shopping. More and more food stores are installing Coke coolers now for the express purpose of letting you shop refreshed.
Pardon me, Mr. King.
Oh, yes, Fritz. Hello.
Is not this place the Nortons have bought beautiful?
Oh, it really is. And wait till you see it when their plans are carried out. Then it'll be unique.
Yes, I hope I see it then. But Mrs. Norton, she is so young and so new to farm life. It is not easy. I wonder, does she know what it's like?
I wonder. Well, one thing I'm sure she doesn't know, and that's that tomorrow will bring her, David, and Mama another visitor.
Mrs. Norton, she loves visits. All women do.
Well, this visitor will be the happy woman of Eastbrook.
Who is she?
That's what you'll find out tomorrow, Fritz.
Oh, good. Well, goodbye, Mr. King.
Goodbye, Fritz. As I was saying, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
Another nice episode of Claudia from April 29th, 1948 here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Thank this station, support their advertisers, their kindness and courtesy. Allow us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. Miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream, where you can not only stream our 21 hours of classic radio theater each and every week, and you can also find lists of podcast sites that have our shows available as well. You can also contact us, find our social media links. If you'd like to support us, you can buy me a coffee to help us acquire additional classic radio collections. That's at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.